Well, it sounds like President Young is settling into his new position well.
Yeah, it does. You know, we also have quite a few new basketball players out on the court this season.
Like who?
Well, like Desmond Simmons, a redshirt freshman out of Vallejo, California.
Let's roll the segment.
Possession can be everything in the game of basketball. There's no winning shot to make without an opportunity to take it. Luckily for the Huskies, Desmond Simmons is a monster on the boards and is dedicated to giving his team the opportunity to win.
I feel like my main focus right now is just rebounding as much as possible. Just trying to get as many rebounds as I can, offensively and defensively. From what I've been told, it's kind of like it's a natural talent. There are a lot of times I don't usually use the proper technique to actually go get a rebound. I just kind of have a niche of just going to get them somehow, some way. And I can't really explain. People have asked me, like, you know, before, like, how do you get so many rebounds? And I honestly haven't found out how to explain it to somebody yet, because a lot of it is just, I just find a way to get them.
Official Pac-12 play hasn't even started yet, and the redshirt freshman is already being compared to UW greats such as current NBA forward John Brockman.
It's an amazing compliment because Brockman is the rebounding leader. I mean, he has the record here. So to even be compared with him, and I mean, now he's playing in the league. So, I mean, to be compared with him as far as being a rebounder and me being a freshman, I'm proud of that.
Simmons started his on-court career at UW a year later than expected due to an unfortunate knee injury early last fall.
I realized that physically I wasn't ready. My knee wasn't where it should be, and practicing wasn't easy for me because of my knee wasn't healthy yet. So it was very heartbreaking because I had a lot of people looking forward to seeing me playing, and I was looking forward to playing myself. But I guess at the same time it was like a reality check.
With a total of 7 true freshmen on UW's roster, Simmons is not the only new presence out on the floor this season. He seemed very pleased with the team's chemistry considering the young makeup of this group.
I think we have pretty good team chemistry to have so many freshmen. I mean, usually I think people expect to have, 7 or 8 freshmen. You expect, there'd be at least 2 or 3 guys that kind of, don't really get it right away. But for the most part, all the freshmen are a hard-working group of people, so it works right away.
Simmons also has great chemistry with the coaching staff, naming them as one of the main reasons why he chose to come to UW. He shared with me one of his favorite funny moments with head coach Lorenzo Romar.
The team can explain it better than me. For some reason, I can't, the way I explain it is like he kept saying, stop putting your hands up when you're talking to me. Well, no, it's like every time I say something to you, Des, you put your hands up like you don't know what's going on. And then when he said that, I was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, dang, shouldn't have did that.
Despite Romar's jokes, it's clear that Desmond Simmons does understand very well what's going on, especially when it comes to crashing the boards. Husky fans should expect nothing less than a relentless rebounder out of this 6'7" forward in upcoming play.
Go Huskies.
I can't wait to see how Simmons and the new freshmen do in Pac-12 play this season.
Yeah, it looks like our basketball team is in for a pretty good year.
For sure. Up next, David Crispin does his first ever movie review segment, Film Focus.
Hello, I'm David Crispin, a cinema studies major here at the university and part of the staff at the Doubleshot. Welcome to the first episode of Film Focus. Today we'll be looking at The Descendants, directed by Alexander Payne and starring George Clooney. Set in Hawaii, The Descendants is about Matt King, played by Clooney, dealing with 2 different problems at once. His wife Elizabeth has recently been in a boating accident, resulting in a coma, leaving King to deal with their 2 daughters, the 10-year-old Scotty and the 17-year-old Alexandra. He's also busy with the decision to sell the family's undeveloped land, some of the little left in the state. On top of all that, Alexandra reveals that her mother was having an affair. Thus begins Matt King's search for answers about his wife, his business dealings, and how to exist as part of a family. The first thing to know about The Descendants is that it is definitely a George Clooney film. If you don't like him, just go ahead and give it a pass. But the film's got a lot more in common with Up in the Air than, say, Ocean's 11. Matt King is a more mature role, somebody that doesn't go through life acting out of bravado. Clooney is decidedly the main character of the film, but it never feels like he's hogging screen time. The other characters are also quite good, with a lot of time and effort given to the daughters' characters in particular. I really wanted to like the daughters, but ended up only enjoying one of the two. While newcomer Amara Miller plays the annoying Scotty well, she was so annoying that I really couldn't enjoy the character all that much. On the other hand, Alexandra, played by Shailene Woodley, was a very well-written and portrayed character. Another important part of the film is the landscape the story takes place against. Alexander Payne has done a good job of helping the audience remember that the story is set in Hawaii without making the film into a movie about Hawaii. The idea of the land is an important one in The Descendants, and the mise-en-scène reflects that, while still reminding the viewer that it's only one part of what's happening. I went into this film expecting that I wouldn't like it that much, but I found that I honestly enjoyed The Descendants. George Clooney remains a superb actor as always, and the rest of the cast holds their own against his performance, even if they aren't necessarily at the same skill level as him. The cinematography is solid, not bad, but not outstanding either. The mise-en-scène fits with the world that's created, and nothing jars you out of the experience. The best technical aspect, though, is the writing. The characters are unique, and the film has great pacing. It isn't something that I'd personally choose to see on my own, or even necessarily a good date movie. But if you're visiting your family, and someone suggests going to a movie, why not try The Descendants? The film opened in theaters this past Wednesday, and even if you don't see it now, I would heartily recommend that you watch it when it comes out on DVD around March next year.
It looks like a pretty good movie. I'll have to check it out when it comes out on DVD.
It does. And speaking of watching things, let's watch this next segment on Veterans Day.
Seriously, watching things?
On this year's Veterans Day, the University of Washington held its annual commemorative ceremony at the Medal of Honor Memorial, which honors the 8 UW alumni who are Medal of Honor recipients. The service featured the presentation of colors and a wreath-laying ceremony performed by ROTC cadets. Army ROTC cadet and Purple Heart recipient David Pereno spoke about the importance of ROTC at the UW.
On this day of recognition, we pay tribute to the members of our armed services and their families for their commitment, discipline, and sacrifice to this great nation. Standing before you are young men and women who have volunteered to honor these sacrifices through service. All members of the University of Washington ROTC hold this duty close to their hearts and minds, and do so in recognition of those that have come before us, our veterans.
From his dedication of over 6 years of active duty, including 3 combat tours in the Middle East, Cadet Pereno recognizes the sacrifices his fellow servicemen have made.
The child's birthday missed, the missed anniversaries of long-standing marriages, and the inability of every service member to personally go and help those back home who were in need. These are all sacrifices. The expense of personal freedoms, experiences, and memories are all very real and are not limited to a time of war. Every service member at some point has missed a piece of their life that they will never get back. And they do this willingly to serve our nation.
Colonel Paul Groover of the Air Force Reserves also spoke at the Veterans Day ceremony about the meaning of service and how it is recognized.
It wasn't until I passed through that very long night before my first combat mission that I understood. It wasn't until the next day in the skies over that barren country, going back again and again into the teeth of that endless supply of surface-to-air missiles and 57mm anti-aircraft artillery, that I understood. It wasn't until I saw the empty helmet holder for Tom Popeye Doyle when he didn't come back from his training mission that I understood. These are the moments that define our service. They bond us as warriors when we know we risk everything good to serve you. And we know in our DNA we take a missile up the tailpipe or a bullet to the chest before we let our squadron mates get shot. These are the moments when it makes horrible, tragic sense to hear about a Medal of Honor awarded posthumously to a young kid for diving on a grenade to save his squad. These are the moments we never, ever forget, way down deep in that place that never goes dark. And these are the brushstrokes we use to color and frame a brilliantly personal portrait of what it means to serve.
Throughout the ceremony, one message rang clear. Every member of the United States Armed Services is well deserving of our thanks and recognition.
As we see service members come home from our conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan, let us not forget all that they have done for us. Deployed or not, wartime or peacetime, every man and woman who raised their hand to serve the United States honorably deserves to be held in the highest regard for their service to us and their service to our country.
For video of the full Veterans Day 2011 ceremony, visit www.youtube.com/thedaily.
We would like to thank all of our veterans and men and women overseas for serving our country.
Even if we're a little late in doing so. Hey Lauren, have you ever heard of parkour?
Heard of what?
Parkour, the art of running efficiently.
I didn't know running could be an art.
It's way cool. Let's check it out.
Gasworks Park is a cultural landmark of Seattle. It serves as a popular hangout for locals, and it's where our story begins. We'll be taking a look into the local parkour community. Parkour is an activity that first caught on in Europe, then spread across the world after it exploded on YouTube. University of Washington student Zach Zabriskie introduces us to the world of parkour.
Parkour is about getting from one place to another as quickly as possible using just your body. Just learning new ways to move, learning new ways to get over obstacles mentally and physically. But then it's always great to get something new, or there's something maybe that you didn't think you could do, or something that looked really difficult and you can do it. There's always a really good sense of accomplishment.
Zach gives his recommendation for those who want to learn more.
Okay, so the way people can get started in parkour right now if they're interested, the best way is Parkour Visions. It's a nonprofit gym. It's run by some really, really cool people.
We check out Parkour Visions at the north edge of Queen Anne to see what the hype's all about. Parkour Visions grew out of the Pacific Northwest Parkour Association that was established 5 years ago in the attempt to unite people who parkour in Washington State. Having just relocated here 3 months ago, Parkour Visions now has 3 times the space available as before, and they're still making more room for participants to train in. Meet Justin Sweeney, another UW student who coaches at Parkour Visions.
Most people start parkour by going to YouTube and kind of doing online tutorials, and usually they do that and they get hurt and they try really big jumps right away without really knowing how to do that or how to prep their body to do that. So we've opened up a space where we can teach people from the ground up, kind of the basics, strength training, so when they do want to try bigger things, they have this technique and they won't get hurt. We offer a huge array of classes to pretty much anyone that wants it. Little kids can do it, older people can do it, anyone. People get really hurt, they just dive at something hands first, opposed to having, in our classes, we have little trial runs where you start on the ground, you start with the box that's 2 feet high, 3 feet high, 4 feet, until we're outdoors doing things in a much safer way. It's something that everyone has a lot of fun doing because we've all done this when we're kids. It's very innate for people, and you use your entire body to do it. And it's physical, but it's also very mental.
You think I'd be any good at parkour? I could start practicing right here at the Daily.
I think you'd better not.
All right. Maybe not.
Well, that's all we have for today.
Be sure to check us out online at youtube.com/thedaily for full episodes and extra content.
And tune in Saturday nights at 7 on UW TV.
Well, thanks for watching this week's episode.
I'm Lauren Lemieux.
And I'm Andre Stackhouse.
Have a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next time
on the Daily's Double Shot.